That being said, here's a CD and a printed overview of all suspicious activity. Now, I think some of your personal information may have been retrieved with your communications with Fear and Loathing.
What?
Who's Fear and Loathing?
It's just some guy. It was in the chat room I go to.
Disconnect is the story of what happens when people's internet lives have real-world implications. Starring Jason Bateman, Alexander Skarsgard, Paula Patton, and others in this ensemble story, 4 plot lines are interwoven and cause dramatic consequences for people's internet actions. So, Jackie, what stood out to you about Disconnect?
I really liked the way they executed the ensemble style. All the stories were like individually strung. It wasn't like your typical Valentine's Day movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you say interwoven, but very loosely.
Yeah.
It's not like things like, oh, one character turns out to be the best friend of another character. Like it's very minor things that kind of do connect them.
I mean, they're kind of thematically woven more than they're physically woven. They have very slight run-ins, but they're this whole thing about the internet brings them together, and it's interesting the way that they're all fairly separate ideas. They're covering different territory with each of these plot lines, but all of them are pretty engaging, and they're all strong. In ensembles, you often get a pair of characters or 1 or 2 storylines that you just don't kind of care about like the others. And in this one, I think I cared about all 4 pretty much equally. Were there any performances that stuck out to the two of you?
Jason Bateman. Who would have thought that he was so good dramatically?
Yeah.
Because everyone knows him from, Arrested Development and those other things that he does. Teen Wolf 2?
Yeah.
Really?
That was him.
That was him?
But he is really good in this, despite it being a dramatic role.
Yeah.
And he has a very similar character to most of his roles. I guess like the kind of stressed dad that he does a lot.
The loving father, but stressed
he's
out.
Very good here, and I'd be excited to see him get some more dramatic work. I think I saw him in The Kingdom or something a couple years back, and he was pretty good in another somewhat dramatic role. Was there anybody that stood out to you?
The same, Jason Bateman. It caught me by surprise.
Frank Grillo, the guy who played the cop,
the
internet cop. Yeah, I thought he was pretty good too. I didn't really take notice of him until he was cast in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So when I saw that he was in this movie, I'm like, oh, cool! I get to see what he can do, and he's pretty good in that role. I liked him. I believed his character. And I liked his story, like close to the top.
I think the strongest pairing was the reporter and the boy. Basically, there's a reporter who wants to. Wants to interview this young boy who's about 18 years old who is on kind of like an online sex site, one of those like chat room sites, and I think they're the strongest pairing. And it kind of people think, oh, they're going to end up having sex or anything, but it's more than that, and it goes in a direction that has. I just think they played the best off of each other.
The story doesn't go in a very predictable way, and while most of it doesn't end very happily, it's not unrealistically devastating or melodramatic. I think it all feels very real, which is one of the movie's strengths. I did want to bring up, did anybody have any problems with the film? Because I found myself there, actually looking for problems. And aside from some like exhibition things, especially in the beginning, I didn't really have almost any problems with the movie. I thought it was just a well executed kind of low key drama.
Yeah, it was really heavy, so like I couldn't really find anything like while I was sitting there in the theater, watching it, I'm just like, man, this is dark.
So then,
Disconnect.
on the infamous Pretentious Film Majors 5-star scale, Jackie.
I'd rate it a 4.
4 out of 5?
Yeah, 4 out of 5. Yeah.
3.5.
Cool. Okay, I didn't want to be the only one. I'm going 3.5 because while I didn't really have any problems with it, I can't say that I was so captivated and engaged that I want to call it like great. But I'm really struggling because I could have easily given it a 4. I don't have a lot of reasons for giving it a 3.5 other than I didn't love it.
Right. Like I would have gone. Well, I think the reason why I went to 3.5 was because of that pairing of the reporter and the sex worker.
Right.
Their story was so thought-provoking to me, with the idea of who really exploits people.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was so interesting and like unlike anything I've seen in one of these movies before. So that was the 0.5 for me. You know, but I liked the movie. It kept me the whole time. It was really interesting, but it didn't give me that extra boost.
Well, for more reviews from the PFM channel, be sure to check out our other videos and go to pretentiousfilmmajors.com to find out more about our group.
Do you have any idea what you've done?